Willow Bend was the kind of American town that seemed to sway between the past and the present, never in a hurry to grow old and never eager to change. It rested peacefully along a bend in the river, where tall sycamores leaned over the water like gentle watchers, and the hills rolled out in folds of gold and green. The streets were unpaved, dust rising with each wagon wheel, and the houses stood with porches that creaked in the summer heat and glowed softly in the winter dusk. Life moved in an easy rhythm, steady and dependable as the toll of the church bell each Sunday. At the heart of this little town stood Harper's General Store, one of the oldest buildings still in use. Its walls had been built by Molly's grandfather, its foundation shaped from sturdy oak beams, its counters worn by generations of hands. The windows held the smudges of curious children, and the wooden floors bore faint grooves from decades of boots and barrels. It was more than a store, it was a meeting place, a warm shelter from the cold, a place where gossip floated like dust motes in sunlight, where stories were shared as freely as the scent of warm biscuits when Mrs. Halston occasionally brought baked goods for neighbors. Molly Harper knew every inch of it. She knew which floorboard squeaked the loudest, which shelf needed an extra nail hammered in, which barrel of potatoes always rolled slightly off center. She knew where the apple crates cast long shadows at dusk, and where her father kept the measuring scales that he polished every evening. She carried a sense of responsibility far beyond her years, a blend of pride and purpose that came not from pressure but from love for the place she had grown up in. Each morning she rose before the rooster crowed. She dressed quickly, washing her face in cold water that stung her skin awake. She tied her hair into a neat ribbon, pulled on her boots, and joined her father as the sky turned from grey to soft lavender. Together they unlocked the store, the bell chiming a familiar welcome. They lit the lamps one by one, their glow warming the wooden shelves as Molly swept the floor and her father checked the cash drawer. Some mornings, customers arrived early, farmers needing nails or rope before heading into the fields, traveling folk picking up food supplies, mothers buying cloth before their children woke. And each morning, Molly greeted them with a polite nod, always ready to help measure sugar or count marbles or weigh oats. Her father trusted her completely, knowing she had a gift for fairness that could not be taught, only cultivated. But fairness, Molly was learning, was not simply something one claimed, it was something tested, sometimes gently, sometimes sharply by the choices a person faced. That Monday, the Dawson twins gave her the first test. They came stumbling in with their messy hair and joyful energy, arguing about which candy they would trade for. Their basket of eggs smelled faintly of straw, and the boys wore that look, a mixture of excitement and guilt, that Molly knew better than to ignore. She examined each egg with care, turning them slowly in the lantern light. The cracked ones at the bottom told her everything. The boys wanted more than they were offering. But she did not shame them. Instead, she showed them fairness without anger, her voice steady as she explained why cracked eggs couldn't be accepted. As they left the store, Molly noticed the boys whispering to each other. They still had mischief in them, but now it was softened by the shape of a lesson. Fairness was not a wall that kept people out. It was a bridge that helped them move forward with honesty. By midweek, the weather had turned harsher. Willow Bend often felt the breath of early winter long before the rest of the valley. Cold wind rattled the windows, and frost crept along the edges of the grass. Fewer people passed through the store that Thursday afternoon. Molly spent much of that slow day arranging jars of preserves, stacking bolts of fabric, and helping her father repair a stubborn counter drawer. The bell rang gently, and Mrs. Doolittle stepped inside with her shawl wrapped tightly, the corners frayed from years of use. She was a widow who lived alone on the hill near the orchard that had once belonged to her husband. Age had softened her hands and slowed her steps, but she carried a warmth that made people pause to listen when she spoke. She had seen good seasons and bad, and everyone in Willow Bend knew her as a woman who gave freely to others even when she had little for herself. Her purse trembled in her hands as she asked for flour. Molly sensed immediately that something was wrong. The coins inside the purse were few and worn, scraping the bottom of what Mrs. Doolittle likely had left. Molly could almost picture the empty shelves in the old woman's pantry, the last crumbs of bread, the cold stove waiting for something warm to fill it. Molly could have followed the rules, counted the coins strictly, refused the full sack, but there was something more important at play than money. Fairness had depth. It wasn't simply about transactions, it was about equity, understanding, compassion. And so Molly handed the full sack to Mrs. Doolittle, telling her she could pay later. She knew some people in town would have disagreed, claiming business was business. But Molly knew her father would understand, because fairness to him meant helping those who needed it most. Mrs. Doolittle's gratitude filled the store like sunlight breaking through clouds. Molly watched her leave with a quiet sense of fulfillment that warmed her more than the stove ever could. On Friday, the storm came. Rain pounded the ground in heavy sheets, the wind howled against the windows, and the lantern flames wavered as though whispering secrets of the storm outside. Most people stayed home, their chimneys puffing smoke into the grey sky. The store felt strangely hollow, the empty aisles echoing with the faint patter of rain on the roof. Late in the afternoon, when Molly had nearly finished stacking the last row of canned peaches, the bell chimed again. A stranger entered, water dripping from the brim of his hat. He carried himself like a man who had traveled long and talked longer. His smile was practiced, polished for persuasion. He brought with him the scent of wet leather and the tension of someone who always moved on before being known. He offered Molly a crate of apples, praising them with a flourish of words. Molly, cautious yet curious, lifted the top layer and found the bruised, rotting apples below. The deception was deliberate, the trick familiar. Many towns had fallen for such traps. But Molly refused. She did so not out of fear or stubbornness, but out of an unshakable commitment to fairness. Fairness to her customers, to the store's reputation, and to herself. The salesman, seeing her determination, abandoned his performance. He left with a weary sigh, though not before acknowledging her strength with a respectful bow of his head. When her father returned that evening, drenched from the storm, Molly recounted everything. He listened silently, and Molly watched his expression shift from curiosity to awe. When he finally spoke, his words were slow, soft, and filled with pride that seemed to thicken the very air. Molly realized then that she had passed more than a series of tests. She had embraced a role. She was her father's partner in spirit, not just in tasks. She upheld the promise the store made to the town: honest measure, fair treatment, open heart. That night, after closing the store, Molly stood at the doorway before locking it. Rain had stopped, the streets glistened beneath the lamplight, and patches of stars peeked through the thinning clouds. Willow Bend lay quiet and peaceful, unaware of the small victories that had been won in its name that week. Molly touched the wooden door frame, feeling its familiar grooves beneath her fingertips. She understood something clearly and deeply for the first time. Fairness was not merely a choice. It was a way of moving through the world, a light one carried even in the darkest weather. She stepped outside and let the cool night air wrap around her. She knew she was young, she knew she had much to learn, but she also knew she had taken her first steps on a path of integrity that would guide her throughout her life. And Willow Bend, with its quiet hills and trustworthy hearts, was the perfect place for that journey to begin. Moral: fairness is not a small act, it is a way of living, honest in judgment, compassionate in action, courageous in difficult moments. A fair heart creates trust, and trust is what shapes strong people, strong families, and strong communities.